In our last upload, y'all saw me apply and get approved for the Southwest Performance Business Card, which makes me 16 for 16 on credit card applications without ever even being sent to pending review. As I explained in the Watch Me Apply video, this card is an essential part of my credit card roadmap and will basically help me earn unlimited free flights with Southwest over the next couple of years. So now that this card has been delivered to my house, I want to explain first why I applied for it and how I justify its $199 annual fee. Then I'll share my data points after applying for the card so you can see how those things changed once I was approved. And lastly, I'll unbox the card live and talk about the exact steps that I took immediately after getting approved to help me utilize this card to its fullest potential. So of course, starting with part one, let's talk about why I applied. And the biggest reason I did so is because I wanted to start my journey towards the Southwest Companion Pass. I recently made a video breaking down the best method to getting the Southwest Companion Pass for 2 full years and why this credit card is essential to that strategy. So I would recommend you watch that one after this one if you haven't yet. But to give you a broad overview real quick, first of all, the Southwest Companion Pass is basically a buy one, get one free pass with Southwest. And the ticket that you buy with them can actually be bought in points, which I think is pretty awesome. In order to get it the fastest, you want to follow the path of earning 135,000 Southwest qualifying points in a calendar year. And to do that, you can actually utilize their credit card welcome offers. And with the performance business having the highest possible points you can earn from one of their welcome offers, that's why it is so essential to the strategy. And if you're somebody that does want to implement this strategy, the number one rule to remember is to not hit the minimum spending requirements on either of the Southwest cards you apply for before the start of the following year. Because if you do that, then you lose out on a full year of the Companion Pass. And if you want to make sure you do the strategy correctly, again, I'd watch my video on it. And just to put some monetary value to the Companion Pass so you can see why I'm even gunning for it in the first place, let's take a low estimate of 5 uses per year at a very conservative 25,000 points saved per Companion Pass flight. That would be 125,000 points saved total over the course of a year. And at a 1.4 cent per point valuation for my Southwest points, that's a $1,750 value every single year I have the Companion Pass. And again, that's only if I use it 5 times per year and don't do any really expensive flights with it. So you can see how the value of this really adds up quickly, and to only need to get 2 credit cards welcome offers to get it is pretty wild in my opinion. And the second main reason I got this card is to take advantage of its credits and benefits as a frequent Southwest flyer. For my situation, I expect to utilize the 9,000 points every year that you earn on your account anniversary, the 4 upgraded boardings per year, and at least a few of the in-flight Wi-Fi credits that you get every day of the year by having this card. Once again, I think it's cool to put some monetary value to these perks so you have a better understanding of what they're actually worth. So for the 9,000 points, that's going to be worth $126 at a 1.4 cent per point valuation. But do note that you only get this benefit after the first card member anniversary, so you don't get that in the first year. At the same time though, you get an 80,000 point welcome offer, at least at the time you're recording. So that more than makes up for missing out on that perk for 1 year. The 4 upgraded boardings per year is kind of hard to put a number on, especially because they made it more of a variable price now, but it's valued at anywhere from $30 to $149. Let's take the lowest estimate there just to be super safe. This perk would be worth $120 per year. And as for the Wi-Fi credits, those are valued at $8 per flight. Let's say that I use it 10 times, 5 for one way, 5 for the other. That'd be a minimum of an $80 value, and that probably is a low estimate once again. So that would make the minimum value I get from this card every year $326, which makes the effective annual fee on this card negative $127. If I was to add the welcome offer into this for the first year value, my first year effective annual fee would be negative $1,121. And that's without considering that Companion Pass value I mentioned earlier, which is another $1,750 at a minimum. So obviously this card is very powerful. Now let's get into my data points after applying for this card, starting with my Chase 524 status. First of all, for those that don't know, the Chase 524 rule states that if you've been approved for 5 or more personal credit cards in the past 24 months with any lender, you'll automatically be denied for your next Chase credit card application. And although the Southwest Performance Business is a Chase business credit card and therefore is impacted by the 524 rule, meaning I would be denied if I was at 524 or above, it does not add to my 524 count because it's a business credit card. So before applying for this card, I was at 424 with Chase, and after applying for it, I will still be at 424. And I don't plan on pushing myself back up to 524 until a month from now whenever I get the Southwest Priority card. After that point, I won't drop back under until March of 2025, but the only other card on my immediate roadmap right now is the Amex Business Platinum for my tax payments next year, and that will not be impacted by the 524 rule or add to it, so it's kind of just like a ghost card to my application, which is really nice. With TransUnion, my credit score is currently sitting at a 771, which is the same as before, and I also have 3 hard inquiries with them right now, also the same as before. With Equifax, both of my data points are actually exactly the same as before applying to, sitting at a 774 credit score with 1 hard inquiry. And then Experian, things changed a little bit. My credit score is now a 757 with them, which is down 3 points from before the application, and I have 4 hard inquiries now, which is up 1. So why did basically everything stay the same here despite me adding a brand new credit card to my credit profile? Well, first of all, remember again that this is a business credit card, meaning that it does not report to my personal credit report. So the only possible impact it can have on my personal credit report, aside from me defaulting on my payments and lowering my credit score like crazy, which will never happen, is a small ding thanks to the hard inquiry I got when applying. But as we can see, the only bureau that Chase pulled for this application was Experian, and it only decreased my score by 3 points. So this is exactly why I tell y'all not to worry about hard inquiries too much, unless of course you're going for a bigger loan soon, like a mortgage or a car loan. Hard inquiries are really quite harmless, and as long as you space out your applications properly, you really shouldn't have many hard inquiries on your credit report at all, since they fall off every 2 years. I mean, look at me. I have 16 credit cards right now, and the most amount of hard inquiries I have on one of my bureaus is 4. So that's just a testament to good credit card road mapping, in my opinion. Now it's time to turn the camera around and get into the unboxing. But before I do, I want to mention a couple of quick notes about the steps I took immediately after getting approved to ensure that I get the most value from this card possible and just don't mess up my credit score or anything like that. So the very first thing I did after turning off my camera when I was filming the Watch Me Apply was call Chase customer service and ask them to expedite my card so I can make some big purchases on it. And lo and behold, just like all of the Chase applications I've done in the past couple of years, they were able to do that for me, and I got the card within 2 to 3 business days, and it's in this express packaging. As for getting the card added to my account, since I already had a Chase for Business account set up with them, it just got added to that existing profile. I do remember the first Chase Business card I got, I had to call them to connect my new Chase for Business account with my personal one, and then basically now I only use the business account login because it houses the personal and business cards together. But yeah, after that first card, everything is super simple and it just happens automatically. Also, another nice thing Chase does is that they separate out your point balances for you in the top right corner of your page. So now I see my Chase Ultimate Rewards points totals, my Marriott Bonvoy point totals because I have a Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card, and my Southwest point totals all in one place, which saves me from having to go from account to account to track down where my points are at. And with the new card in my account, I also immediately set up automatic payments for the statement balance on this card every month. That way I know I'm never going to be at risk of missing any payments, and this is something I recommend all of y'all do with every one of your cards. Now with all that being said, we can actually turn the camera around and get into the unboxing of the Southwest Performance Business. Okay, so here we are with the full express UPS envelope, and like I mentioned, they did ship this extremely urgently, which was very nice because I needed to make some purchases like within a couple of days of applying for this card, and I was able to do that, which is sweet. Obviously had to black out some of my information here, but let's go ahead and crack into this thing. And here we have the just blank white envelope that doesn't even say where it came from or anything, pretty cryptic. And inside of that envelope, we have a few pieces of paper. This right here, of course, is going to be where the card is housed, so we're going to go over that last. Aside from that, we have 3 more documents here, and let's see what the first one is. Looks like this is the business card agreement rates and fees table. So this just basically tells us everything about the card that we knew before applying. You can see my APR here is about 21%. I don't really care at all about that because I will never make any interest payments to a bank on a credit card. If you're doing that, you're losing the credit card game. So that's why all the strategies that I talk about on my channel are going to be under the assumption that you never pay these. And the only fee that I really care about is going to be the annual membership fee. All of these transaction fees and penalty fees do not apply since, once again, I'm not going to either be paying off my cards late or not at all. These don't matter. As for the transaction fees, the foreign transaction fee is all that I really care about. And it's nice to know that it has none, but I probably won't be taking this card in my physical wallet with me overseas. But hey, it's a good thing to have. After that, we have a piece of paper talking about what Chase does with our personal information. And there's also a way down here at the bottom to limit their sharing if that's something that you care about. Other than that, nothing too insane here. I guess you could pause and read through it if you wanted to, but I'm assuming you have better things to do. Then we come to the business card agreement, which does have some more interesting stuff in it. They're going to tell you about how to get started with your account, some important definitions, and a bunch of other information here. As you can see, I mean, it's a lot of pages. But the one thing that a lot of people care about is going to be this using your card section. Bring this a little bit closer for y'all so you can see what's going on. And the main thing here that I always focus on with business cards is that it does say that you cannot use this card for any personal expenses and that it should only be used for business expenses. But as I've talked about many of times at this point, while yes, of course, Chase wants you to use your business card for business purchases, if you don't end up doing that, it's not like the IRS is going to come track you down. It's not illegal to put personal expenses on business cards. Just make sure that you don't write off any personal purchases on your tax return and just use your credit cards how you will. I'm not endorsing to put personal expenses on this card, but just telling you what I've learned from being in this space for a few years now. But now we can get into the fun stuff here, the actual unboxing of this card. Before we get there, you can see that I have a credit access line of $11,000, which is awesome. They give you some options as to how to verify your card as well. I went ahead and just did that in my app as soon as it was delivered to me. And before we look at what else is on this paper, let's go ahead and reveal this card here in 3, 2, 1, and There it is. Honestly, really nice looking design here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off the paper, read what else is on the paper, and then we'll get back into the card. So it's gonna tell you all about the perks on the card and the earning categories and all of that, which is nice, but hopefully you already knew about that before applying. And then they tell you how you can actually redeem your points. But as we know, the only way I plan on redeeming my Southwest miles from here on out is either for a lot of just solo trips, but also a lot of companion pass trips as well. With that paper out of the way, let's get this card back in frame. So like I said, very sleek design here, all black with just some silver accents, which I think looks really good. Also, the little Southwest heart pops out like crazy against this black and silver background. On the front of the card, we do have the Southwest logo, their big heart here, Visa signature logo on the bottom right, card name, the Performance Business right here, alongside my name and my business name underneath. And then the back is a little bit more busy, but same color scheme, of course. Got the mag strip up here, the signature line, as well as your CVV right next to that. Got the Chase logo in the bottom right with the NFC logo too, my name and card number right under that, and the good through date next to that. Of course, you also have all of the contact numbers for Chase if you needed to talk to them about it. Well, Chase and Southwest in this case. But yeah, overall, I am very happy actually with the design of this card. I will say that it is plastic. Oh, I just noticed this nice like red rim around it actually. But yeah, it is plastic. It does feel somewhat premium as a plastic card, but this probably won't be one that I actually take with me in my wallet anywhere. It's mainly going to be one that I use for a few online purchases and stuff like that as I hit the welcome offer. But remember, I will not be hitting the minimum spending requirement until after January 1st. And if you get this card, you should definitely be waiting that timeline as well. But yeah, there you have it. That is the Southwest Performance Business. And if you'd like to see the full application process for this card and see how I got it in my hands today with some tips and tricks as to how you can get approved, of course, click on this video here in the middle next. As always, Odin and I really appreciate you watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.